Hey, Husky fans, Joe Summons here, Director of Athletics Communications, joined by our head wrestling coach, Ryan Ludwig, for kind of a special video here. It's been a weird year. Obviously, our team has only been home one match this year, and our fans weren't allowed to attend, meaning our wrestling parents weren't allowed to be there. And you know what? They didn't have a senior day. So, talking to one of our wrestling seniors, we thought, hey, you know something? It'd be a good idea to kind of recognize them and give them their kind of moment. It's not going to replace that senior day or that night on the mat, but want to talk to our head wrestling coach Ryan Ludwig about these guys and kind of give them their senior day. So, hey, coach, how you doing? Good to talk to you again.
Great, Joe. Thanks for having us, and thanks for doing this.
No, not a problem. I mean, it's been a weird year. I mean, obviously, you guys have been going through a lot of stuff, whether it's testing, worrying about a match actually taking place or whatnot. And we got word that our administration have been working feverishly to try and get fans to some of our home matches and other home events, wrestling, gymnastics, volleyball, basketball, et cetera. And we just couldn't get time to get the wrestling parents in and it's kind of a blow, but we thought, hey, let's try and do this and see what we can do, and kind of talk about Tristan Guaman and Max Ihry. It's been an interesting year. I mean, you guys are getting ready for the MAC championships coming up this weekend. Can you just talk about the year in general and what the guys have been through?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the way this year has played out, again, we've kind of approached it with with a level of gratitude to be able to compete overall. And we knew full well that there was going to be, quote unquote challenges, adversity, even to a further extent than a regular wrestling season brings. And we were just ready to meet those head on and with a level of vigor and gratitude, like I said before, that we were able to step on the mat and compete. So, not being able to do things that we've normally done in the past is to be expected, so there was nothing to pout about. I think when you talk in terms of seniors, in terms of, these young guys making strides on the mat and in the classroom, and that comes with a level of maturity. So that's really shown through in the way that they've handled things throughout the year. I think their preparation has been fantastic. Their attitudes have been great. Their mindset is outstanding, and everybody's firing really well right now. So we're excited to get on the road this week.
And I mean, talking about our seniors, Tristan Guaman, Max Ihry, I mean, guys that have given several years to this program. I mean, what impresses you most about these young men?
Yeah, I mean, if I could speak about those two guys, Tristan Guaman, he's been with us for 2 years. He was a transfer, as an All-American wrestler at Harper Community College, and came to us last year, and hasn't done anything but worked his tail off since he got here. He is an incredibly hard worker in the classroom and on the mat. If it's a team run, lift, or wrestling practice, you're going to get 100% from Tristan. And he's done a fantastic job again in the classroom. And this is a real self-starter. So Tristan, this guy's going to be an incredible success in life because he really knows what he wants, and he goes after it, and he makes things happen for himself. So I think that spreads. I think he's really, he's got some close teammates as he's, fostered those relationships in the locker room, which isn't easy to do as you come in as kind of an older guy into a new team setting. So I'm impressed with what he's done there. And from a competitive standpoint, he's a guy you can always rely on, to get that call at a moment's notice, to step in and fill a role in a big way. So he's been a great soldier for us.
And then can you talk a little about Max? I mean, he kind of had a season robbed from him toward the end last year when he was an NCAA qualifier, and they had to cancel it due to COVID. I mean, can you talk about his mindset coming into this season and trying to get back there?
Yeah, I can't say enough complimentary things about Max Ihry. If I could really explain his metamorphosis of sorts, it would be that he came to us as an athlete, and he has evolved into a wrestler. He was a fantastic football player and multi-sport athlete in high school, and we really liked his potential as a wrestler as well. So he cut to 97. He's a pretty big boy, and he was making that cut to 97 and really broke through 2 years ago at the MAC championship down in Virginia. Had a strong showing down there, and then after that, we had that conversation in the spring and the summer. Hey, what do you think, Max? He's kind of wanted to go heavyweight. We talked about it. said, yeah, that sounds like a fantastic plan, Max. And man, he went to work right away, got in that weight room, did the NIU Max Ihry bulk job, and he put on some lean mass, got up into the mid 230s and looked all of it. So last year was able to put together a 20-win season for us, and won some incredibly instrumental matches and dual meets to help us have a great dual meet record last year, and has continued to do the same throughout. And I think on top of his wrestling skills that have evolved, and gotten to a very high level where he's a nationally ranked individual, even more importantly, his maturity as a leader, as a teammate, as a guy who has gone to the next level in his classwork, just continually putting out fine grades each semester from where he started as a freshman has been an incredible level of development. And that's, you see that in guys who have that characteristic of saying, hey, look, here's what I came to do. I'm going to experience success and I'm going to make things happen. So for him, I think his development as a man, as a student athlete in its entirety has been exactly what we want out of Husky wrestlers. So, and then, even more so, he's become an incredible leader and a great teammate. He really picks the young guys up, gives them a hard time. He's going to show them what he's all about in the mat room, but then he's going to pick them up and kind of explain, how they can get to that next level. So incredibly encouraging, fine teammate, great leader, and has been a great captain for us this year.
Where have you seen these guys, both of them, grow, off the mat? Where'd you see them develop most as?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just buying in to living a certain way, to making sure that you want to get the most out of yourself. You came here because you wanted to be a champion, and if something's lacking in an area of your life, just kind of recognizing that, talking about it, owning it, and then going to work and making it better, and knowing that happens one day at a time. It doesn't all happen at once, and you got to put the work in. And Max Ihry's not afraid of hard work. Neither is Tristan Guaman. So it's a testament to them and their character and some of the accomplishments that they've had on and off the mat.
Hey, Coach, we can't thank you enough for joining us for this. I mean, I know it's kind of a non-traditional senior day, but we had to do something for these guys, and we really appreciate everything you said about them and having these guys on campus. I know they've been tremendous leaders in the athletics community and campus community, and can't thank you enough for joining us, and wish you the best of luck this weekend. And
we appreciate it, Joe. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach. Take care. Joining us now is Husky senior Tristan Guaman. And Tristan, I'm going to tell you, it's kind of weird. I don't have a good memory, but for whatever reason, I remember when you came to NIU as a wrestler from Harper College in that one duel back in 2018. I looked it up online. Harper won one match that day.
Yeah.
You know who it was?
Yeah.
That was Tristan Guaman. But I got to ask, I mean, what was it about NIU that made you want to come here?
There was a couple different reasons. Just when I came and looked at the school, like, it was a good school. It's got a great business program. The teammates are phenomenal. The partners here are great. I guess it was just a lot of different factors. It's close to home, not too far. There was a lot of factors that played a role, but I'm glad I made the right choice.
Now, I've been doing wrestling for several years, since I come to NIU off and on. And it never ceases to amaze me when you watch the sport live. It's a live chess match. I mean, I think they sometimes say that about boxing too, but I mean, wrestling is what made you pick this sport?
It's actually funny. I started when I was in about 6th grade. I always wanted to be a basketball player. I didn't make the team for basketball, so I just stepped on the wrestling mat that season to just kind of like pass the time. And I just never looked back on it from that day.
What was it about it? Was it just the challenge of, I mean, it's
just the competition. Like, it's a one-on-one, like, it's a team sport. We have team points, and, we're all fighting for one another. But when you get on the mat, it's just you and your opponent. And the only person that's going to dictate that outcome is the work that you put in. And I just really like that about the sport. I love that aspect of it. If you win, it's because you put in the right work. And when you lose, it doesn't mean you'll lose next time. It just means you got to work harder.
What have you learned most about yourself as a wrestler, as a student, as an individual in your time here at NIU?
Um, that I could be very disciplined. Just, doing this sport, it teaches you a lot of different life things that you can just take into the real world. And, once you do a sport like this, a lot of other things become easy.
What are you going to remember most about your time at NIU?
I'll remember my teammates the most for sure. This has just been a great, 2 years that I've been here, and I'm gonna miss a lot of these teammates. It's been a good time.
To me, senior day is almost as much about your parents as it is about you. Can you talk about what they've done for you to get you here, and what would you like to say to them about everything they've done to get you here as a student athlete here at NIU?
My father has done absolutely everything for me. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in without my father. He's like, it sounds cliche, but he's my biggest supporter. He's my biggest role model. Without him, I wouldn't be anywhere where I am. He's taught me everything. So he plays a huge role in everything that I do, and everything that I do. The reason why I work as hard as I work is just, it's all for him.
Well, Tristan, we can't thank you enough for your years here at NIU and what you've done for the wrestling program, and we wish you nothing but success from here on out when you graduate.
Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
You too.
We're joined now here by senior Max Irie, and this video kind of came about from a little encounter that Max and I had a few weeks ago during the team photo shoot. He talked about how a lot of schools have been doing senior day recognition, and I'll be honest, before the Northern Iowa meet that we had, the only home meet, I was like, man, we're not doing a senior day. I mean, like I've said before, I think senior day is as much for the parents as it is for the student athlete. So Max came up to me at the wrestling room and said, hey, we're gonna do the recognition for the seniors. I thought about it, and last year when all the seniors at NIU got their season cut short, we had like a some spring long senior day. But I thought, how could we top that? So thought we'd do this little video. And Max, I got a first question I got to ask you is, last year you made the NCAA tournament. I mean, you were ready to go, and then you find out, sorry, the tournament's canceled due to COVID. What was your mindset coming into this season?
Just to do it again. It was very disappointing last year to not be able to go and wrestle in Minnesota, especially after the season I had. So I was just using that as an internal motivation to get back there and finally hit the mat.
What is it about wrestling that drew you to the sport? I mean, you were a solid football player in high school, but what was it about this sport that made you want to tackle this, pun intended, this sport instead of, say, football?
Oh, well, originally I got into wrestling because I didn't make the basketball team in 7th grade, but I'm glad I stuck with it because I just love the sport. I love getting in the wrestling room and grinding and having that brotherhood with your teammates. And I also like how, in one way, it's a team sport, and in another way, it's an individual sport, and you can only rely on yourself to win.
Where do you think you've grown the most in your time here as a wrestler and as an individual?
I would say I matured a lot through my 5 years. I just learned a lot of important life skills, like having a good work ethic, time management, leadership skills. All of that is going to help me later in life with work, having a family, just stuff like that. I think it really teaches you lessons for the rest of your life.
What was it that drew you to NIU? I mean, you're not from too far away, but what was it about this school that brought you here?
When I visited, I met all the guys on the team, and I really got along with them. And after meeting with the coaches, I just liked what they told me and what they wanted to build, and a plus was that it wasn't too far away from home. So all of those reasons ended up being a good decision.
When you leave here, when you leave DeKalb, what are you going to remember most about NIU?
Definitely my teammates and coaches. I'm really going to miss them. Some of the bonds that I've made over the years, I just really value and treasure those. And I think I've made some friends for life for sure through my time here.
And like I said earlier, I always thought that senior day was much about your parents as it was about you. I mean, what would you like to tell them for everything they've done, everything they've sacrificed for you to get here?
I just want to tell them thanks. You know, they really had just taken me to practice when I was younger, or just, you know, coming and supporting me. They never missed meets. They were always there, whether it was a football game, wrestling meet, or other sports I did when I was younger. They were always in the stands cheering me on, so that, you know, made me feel good when I was competing and made me compete better.
Hey Max, we can't thank you enough for everything you've done here at NIU. I mean, I've seen the change from the last 3 years that I've been doing wrestling, and you had a heck of a year last year. Looking forward to seeing you in the MAC championships this weekend and trying to get back to the NCAA tournament. So best of luck to you, my friend.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it as well. It's going to be a good weekend.
Take care, buddy. Thanks, man.
Yep. Thank you.